Okay guys, Hunter Elliott, rangehot.com, out here today with, oh Lord, look what I've got. It's the Glock 40 long slide, 10mm auto. This would be a really nice pistol if you were doing, especially if you were in a handgun hunting. A lot of states require you to have at least a 6-inch barrel to handgun hunt. I've got just a few magazines through it already, but we're going to get the gun out, get it hot, shoot it, get some footage of it working, and go from there. So anyway, stand by. We're about 32, 33 feet away. I've got 5 rounds of Hornet 8, 180 grain jacket hollow point. I'm going to put them on target and see how she does. All right. So those Hornet 8s, you know, they're not super hot, but they're pretty warm. You can look back and see my ballistics test of it. And I've shot those in the Glock 29, the 20, the Colt Delta Elite. And I'll be honest with you, the long slide seems to help tame a little bit of that 10mm. Now, I have opted to run the smaller beaver tail now that Glock is including on their Gen 4s. And I would encourage you to do as well. I feel like it kind of gives me a little bit more leverage against the pistol trying to buck up out of my hands. But it definitely, I could tell a difference of the added weight on the end of the muzzle, helping taming that 10mm. So anyway, so far so good. Nice shooting Glock.
Here I have the Glock 40 with a long slide and is chambered in 10mm. Let's see how it runs.
wrapping up the shooting portion. I had 15 rounds left, and I thought, well, that was just a magic number to fill up a magazine and run the gun dry. So here we go, 15 rounds. This is 180 grain, just full metal jacket, standard factory 10 millimeter. So they're not very warm. Okay, as always, without any kind of malfunctions, the slide is reliably locked back on the empty magazine. Good to go. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up, as I've noticed, I had several holsters that was made for my Glock 20, leather and Kydex, and they were open-ended. And check this out. The 40 fits in it just fine. You got a little bit hanging down right there. Same with my leather holster, but I thought that's pretty cool as long as you've got an open-ended holster for your 20. The 40s fit well in all of mine. Okay, here we are at the end of another gun review. This time, we're reviewing the Glock 40 10mm auto long slide MOS modular optic system. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I liked and what I didn't like. The gun ran great. Didn't have any trouble. We got about 250 rounds downrange through it with various different types of ammunition, from defensive ammo to ball and everything in between that I could get my hands on, including some of my favorite reloads, and the gun ran great. Didn't have any troubles. Some things that I liked about it. Well, it's 10mm auto, and that's a big plus in my book. I can see where the 10mm now is starting to make a little bit of a resurgence, and I'm certainly glad to see that. I think some of the manufacturers are starting to see the appeal of a cartridge you can chamber in an autoloader that's actually pushing past 357 Magnum energy. So, in my mind, I see this pistol filling a couple roles. We can all see it's clear. This will make an ideal backup pistol if you did a lot of hunting, or if you handgun hunted. This would be really nice to fill that role as far as being chambered in 10mm and also having 15 rounds on tap in the magazine for a total of 15 plus 1 in the pipe. Being that it has the MOS system, that means you can remove this slide blank, is what I'm going to call it, by two Torx threaded fasteners. You take them out, this blank comes out, the pistol ships with 4 different adapters that will allow you to adapt whatever particular type holographic or reflex sight that you want to install, such as the Leupold Delta Point. Now, what's important about that is a lot of times when people want to install those reflex sights, they have to drift out the rear sight and install a plate and this, that, and the other. And that works well and fine. But if you're out in the field somewhere and your optic were to go down, now you're kind of without a rear sight now. With that, at least you can pull that optic off with the tool that comes with the pistol, and then you still got your front and rear sights. Now, front and rear sights, they're kind of a standard Glock setup. You got the dot and U-shaped white sight, except for this rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation, a nice little touch Glock added. Also, as all Gen 4s and Gen 3 Glocks, it comes with an integrated accessory rail. So, I mean, you can imagine running 15 rounds in this gun with an optic and a light would be great for even like hiking or a trail defense gun. So, I really didn't find a lot about it I didn't like. I hate the Glock slide stop. I'm an old 1911 guy, so I like to just kind of thumb that slide stop down to chamber a fresh mag. This one, being as small as it is, it's kind of tough to do. Now, I do realize Glock makes a slide stop that has a little ledge on it that'll work just fine for that. So that's generally always the very first upgrade I do on the Glocks that I own. So if I had to change one thing off the top, it would be I would change the slide stop. You know, I have this Gen 3 Glock 20 that I bought. We can all see that it's clear. And the first thing I did was I bought a factory Glock 6-inch barrel to take advantage of the extra 1.6 inches of barrel length, which, according to my chronograph, adds about anywhere from 70 to 80 feet a second per round, like for like. And that's a pretty good increase. The drawback to that is, well, it does look kind of funky. I get that, as well as you don't get the benefit of the sight radius. So, with the long slide, you've got this longer sight radius. That does definitely give you a better sight alignment and sight picture. So, I can appreciate, and plus it does look a little sleeker. So, all in all, you know, I don't have a whole lot bad to say about it. You know, any gun that I review, I try to find a couple things I don't love about it. aside from the slide stop, I don't have any complaints. That's about all I got, really. It's actually a nice pistol. I'm really pleased with it. So, if you've got any questions or criticisms or complaints or comments, you can always email me, hunter@rangehot.com, or you can get a hold of me through Rangehot or find us on Facebook at Rangehot. I'm going to hang on to the Glock here for a little while. I've already got an optic that was sent to me by a manufacturer to do a review on, so I'm still going to be running the gun, checking it for reliability and function, and I will continually report back on it. Okay, guys, stay safe. We'll see you at the range.